Good morning. I think we'll probably have more people joining us in the next minutes, but I'm starting because being Portuguese, I don't want you to say that we started late because I came late and started late, so we start. We have today in this panel a very, actual problem, promoting entrepreneurship and startups in small communities. To speak to us about this subject, we have my dear friend and colleague, Mrs. Milena Angelova. She's actually Vice President of the Employers Group of the European Economic Social Committee, and I think also Secretary General of the Bulgarian Employers Confederation. We have Mr. Luke Hendricks, he's Director, Enterprise Policy and External Relations of UEAPME, and Mrs. Valia Aranito. She's Director of the Institute for Commerce and Services of the SE. We expect them to speak for about 20 minutes, 15 minutes each, and then we'll open up the debate. But since I'm trying to gain a few more minutes before we start to see if other people arrive, I'll tell you a few short comments of mine over this subject. I have to tell you that I was Vice President of the Portuguese Confederation of Commerces and Services for 16 years. I'm President of the board now. But then I was in charge directly of a cabinet responsible for entrepreneurship and creating new enterprises in the sector. So I followed this subject very, very closely. And I also started and were actually a partner in 4 small enterprises that I created with other colleagues. I've been also responsible, partly responsible at my university. I was a university professor for 19 years, and of also a cabinet to help our students to create enterprises. And I had the opportunity to make contacts with similar organizations in other universities, and I was particularly impressed with the cabinet they have in Cambridge University in England. And from all this, I took two things. I don't know if our speakers will mention them, that I think are at the core of the problem of entrepreneurship and that we sometimes miss. The first thing is that entrepreneurship is about capital. It's about having capital for a project and persuade someone with the money to invest in that project. It's not about making an enterprise because you cannot find a job. Those are very different things in 2 very different attitudes. And with the consequence, when someone puts the money in a new enterprise, he wants to see that money grow. So he wants to see that enterprise grow. If you then can't find a job and then you go and make an enterprise and you go to the bank and ask for a loan, all that you want is to pay that loan and save some money for yourself. And you hardly ever grow. The other point I took, and I think it's also very important, is that we have this tendency to think about entrepreneurship as a sort of one-man show, as the lonesome cowboy that goes against everything and in the end wins. In fact, successful startups always were made by teams, by groups. Sometimes you only remember one of them, but there were always 2 or 3. Remember, we think about a few names, and they are a legend. Bill Gates, he asked $10,000 from an uncle, started in a garage, and became the richest man in the world. But he had a partner, and since the beginning, and is now the chair, because when Bill Gates left, it's Steve Jobs. We only speak and remember Steve Jobs, great success. But he had a partner. Now that Steve Jobs is dead, his partner is taking over. If Steve Jobs and his partner, if Bill Gates and his partner had not managed to stay together, we would have no Microsoft today, certainly. So entrepreneurship is about teamwork, and it's about leadership too. And I don't know if our speakers will mention that. They'll probably disagree with me. Mr. Hendricks probably will disagree with me. But I'll leave you this message, and we'll talk about it again in the end if you want. And now that I think there is no reason to further delay, I give the floor to Milena Angelova.